Good evening, everybody. I'd like to call the September 2nd special meeting of the Cypresswood Community Association to order. Will the secretary please call the roll?
Club Patio, Cypress Pond,
Here.
Eagle Pond,
Present.
Enclave,
Here.
Fairway Patio,
Here.
Garden Patio,
Here.
Golf Villas, Greenfield Village,
Here.
Meadows,
Here.
Oak Grove,
Here.
Palmacia,
Here.
Plantations,
Here.
Sand Hill Lane, Villas on the Green.
Here.
We have a quorum, thank you. Next slide, please, Savannah. I need a motion and a second for tonight's meeting agenda, please. Mr. Howells made such a motion, seconded by Mr. Brett. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. One thing before we start the meeting, if you wish to speak, we're going to ask you for our YouTube friends that you come up to the X and speak from here, addressing the board, please. Next slide, please. The first item on the agenda is about the, I guess I should stand on it, is for the new roof. The loss was May 21st. Inspector looked at that roof in July after shingles were found around the clubhouse grounds. The inspector submitted a report to the insurance company after the claim was filed in late July. The deductible is $25,140. That is 2% of the clubhouse's value. We renew, the reason for this item at this particular time is we renew our insurance on 9/7 and need a signed contract by then, or the new insurance company will exclude the roof in our new policy. The roof has a normal 15-year lifespan. It was last replaced in 2005. We have 2 bids. It doesn't really affect the obligation of the association. The deductible's the same. The cost of the roof without a deductible would have been $62,405.56. And we are getting it for the low price of $25,140 if you approve. Any questions? Okay, then I'd entertain a motion to approve the expense of this out of the general reserve. Mr. Shire has made such a motion. Richard Luciu has made a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Great, thank you. Next one, Martha Palmer for the amenities group is going to make this presentation.
I'm doing this because the RAC oversees all of the amenities. We've been talking about this before, the income and expense comparison. You see the 2019 and 2020. Obviously, this is because we have been closed, because we are redoing. The 2-year income expense change there, the difference is 99,000 plus. We have a primary loss of play for 40 out of our first 100 days. Our first 100 days out of the year is when we make the most money. This was due to COVID, and the golf course was shut down after that because of construction. Do you have another slide? Okay. These are our payroll dates and our payroll amounts, and you can see, I know I have to stand here, but I want to go up and point.
That's fine.
You can see that we've got it down for every 2 weeks from now until December, well, that says the 29th, but through the end of the year.
That's the last payroll of the year.
Right, that's the last payroll of the year, and that's $232,500. Yeah. Okay. We also have a cart lease of $31,000. We have equipment rental on leases of $10,000. Advertising is $7,500. This might seem high to you. It is because we are having our reopening of the golf course. And my Haven came in the mail today. I assume it probably came to most of you. We do have a full page in there. And just let me say that even though we were closed for most of 2020, we came in second for best golf course around here. I found that interesting. We have other expenses of $17,500, and they include merchant fees, point of sales, all kinds of small, lights, cleaning materials, things like that, for building and small maintenance. If you look at our projection then, this is for the rest of 2020, you'll see that we have payroll, which was listed before, $232,500, the cart lease at $31,000, equipment rental, advertising, other, and that comes to a grand total of $298,500. That's $298,500. When we look at our revenue increase, decrease, you see that's $125,000. That's our revenue average previously. We have currently in the bank, and this is as of about a week or so ago, $40,425.99. So we see a projected need of $133,074.01. Okay, next page. This is what the RAC would be proposing, that we think, how do we handle this? Now, first let me say, this was not a surprise to any of us. We expected to be short this year because of construction. We did not expect COVID, true, but we did expect to be short. So we think what the best way to manage this is to have a $150,000 loan at 1%. The note is payable due April 30th, 2021. That would be at the end of our 100 days next year when we make our most money. Funds would be allocated out of general reserves. Yes, they are there. Where's our treasurer? The funds are there. Each draw would be dispersed when needed with board approval. And we are just suggesting, so we don't have to have lots of special meetings, that since we all know what this is, that we would do this via email, as we've done other things before. And this would be a legally binding promissory note that would be executed between the CCA and the LLC.
That's just the executed document
There you go.
from the last board meeting.
Okay.
Okay, questions? Yes, Mr.
Do
Cramp.
we have the money?
Mr. Cramp. He's going to the X.
So we have the money in reserve, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Follow me?
Okay.
Next question,
Yeah.
Mr. Brett. Come on down.
These were sent in. I've got two that were sent in by some of my folks. First one is, apparently a lot of people know more than I do about what's going on. The PPP money, you did apply and you did get that. Okay. Is it forgivable?
Hopefully. We're working on that assumption, or that number just goes up by $92,000.
Yeah, okay. The second question is the restaurant making money? And if not, why is it still open?
The restaurant is breaking even with its own expenses and revenues. Almost to the penny.
That's,
It's actually up about, I think up through last week, up about
I'm done.
$91.
I'm done.
Okay, next.
Mr. Dodd, you had your hand up.
Could you tell me exactly how much is cash in the reserves and how much is mutual funds? And are we taking it out of cash?
It's out of cash,
And that,
no unwinding of any mutual fund.
okay, and how much between those two funds do we have?
At the last meeting, at July 31, we had $292,691.
Okay, and then, all right, so the key is, from an accounting perspective, it's gonna hit as a loan, right?
Right.
It's not gonna show up as income in this year's operational funds.
Correct.
And then the plan is to pay it back next year, but the challenge I'm still a little confused about is what do we project what the actual shortfall is gonna be for next year? And have you run all your projections for what you think the 2021 year look like? Because if we end up funding this, which I understand we need to do it, I got no problem with that, but the concern is, okay, now it comes due next year and you gotta write a check for call it $150,000. What is that, what's the implication for next year? From a cash perspective.
Right, my basis is that we'll make that much money through the next season, and we'll basically wipe out any profits that the LLC makes for next year. That's kind of where the projection is. It may be a little bit short of that, but the RAC is addressing that in their assessment for the operational subsidy. The operational subsidy that has been going on for the last 3 years. So that is part of the RAC's budget presentation will happen later this month that includes some of those improvements. Remember, we're really just talking about funding payroll expenses, which is really the only thing the LLC has been responsible for to this point. Otherwise, the RAC has been continued to invest in their investments in the club by subsidizing the operations, by doing the fertilizer and herbicides and that sort of thing.
Bob, can I say another thing?
Sure. Did I?
Yeah,
Oh,
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, the Recreation and Amenities Committee presents its budget in September, so we're just not there yet. And we present it as the other committees have been doing it the last couple of months. And we have been working on projections, so we've got that to present to you. It's just not tonight, because it would be part of our normal budget process.
I expect the LLC to be able to fulfill its payroll obligations for 2021, if that's my expectation.
Okay.
Okay? Any other questions? Okay, Mr. Howell has moved that we go with the amenities plan to loan the LLC $150,000. And that, again, as it will be dispersed, hopefully we don't need all that. We have a second? Mr. Klutner has seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, it passes.
No bylaws, concerns about the ability to lend money?
No, we can lend money to folks.
You come here, say it. You gotta say it
Sorry.
all on. Savannah's rules.
Oh, that's right, that's right.
Don't want to upset the person operating the camera. Make us all look 10 pounds heavier.
That's true. Hey, good evening, everyone. My name's Christopher DeRushy. I'm the attorney for the Master Association, and yeah, the Master Association can lend money to folks.
Okay, that answers that. Quick and good. Anything else? We have a motion to adjourn. Do we have a second? Meeting adjourned. Thank you.